Alright. What the heck's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Folk, we've got REYNOR in the bottom left side. It's for Basilisk up against Vitality's Maru in the top right. Best of three between the late game god Maru and the mid game god REYNOR. And that is always a scary match for REYNOR because historically there is a mental pressure on him to finish the game earlier rather than later, as Maru is going to trounce him in late game. And of course, with the Ghost being stronger than ever, I think that's going to be even more the case on this season. We're also here starting on Celestial Enclave, a map with a very easy wall off and a free base in the back. So Maru could get away with some wild greed here, and I wonder how REYNOR plays it. Does he himself just expand to a standard third, a standard fourth, and ignore the free base in the back since it only has 5 minerals, 1 gas? Or does he do some sort of build where he skips sling speed, maybe even thinks about walling off the front, goes for 3 hatcheries, rushes up the tech tree, as I do believe fast muters can be excellent. Now, this is a very early hatchery. I think this was a 15 hatchery, was it? Maybe not. He's got a spawning pool on about 17, 18 supply. But it is gasless for now, so I do think he's going to be sending that drone to that back base in a moment. Yeah, it is going to be a 3 hatchery gasless play. Okay, very cool. So quite a greedy play for REYNOR. I think he's just going to play this greedy 3 hatch into roaches, into a 4th base, and then go to hive. Very standard play for him. Maru, of course, is going for a Reaper expand. And for those who don't know, this is a match from the Group D of RSL Season 3. If you guys are keen, of course, for the RSL offline finals games, those replays will be dropping hopefully in the next few days, and I'll be casting those as well, as I heard there was a couple of bangers there. I'm casting this the day after the offline finals did get finalized, so I'll be casting those games as soon as I can. But wrapping up the highlight matches from Season 3, first and foremost. The Pygmas stream is failing on my end. Downloads are... Oh, your internet's right. Okay, it's not my own stream dying, thankfully. You guys let me know if there's any tech issues, those watching live. Sound issues, anything like that. Oh, free drone kill. REYNOR, sloppy, man. Dude, I have recently... Like, I lost a drone the other day to the first Reaper when I was playing someone pretty good. And I was like, damn, that's embarrassing. But I feel like 2 out of 3 games lately of, like, guys playing against top Terrans lose a drone at the start. And it's actually gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm really shocked because it's so unnecessary, that damage. And it's understandable that mistake happens sometimes, but I'm surprised at how high the percentage is. And I wonder if you guys think, are Zerg players being too greedy? I think that's it. I think they're waiting. Like, is there some other reason? Are they nervous? Because, like, it feels like you can just run the drone a second earlier and then build the Spore Crawler. But every top Zerg wants to wait until the drone is like 1 hit point from death and then build the Spore Crawler. And they keep losing it. And it seems like a very simple thing to correct. Oh my gosh, guys, that's a quick third command center into 3 barracks and then double engineering bay. Oh my gosh, Mama doesn't want to dance with REYNOR. Why build Hellions and Banshees on a 3-base wall-off map? I'm just going to go straight to 3 Rex Marine. He gets another drone. REYNOR is asleep at the helm right now. Can't be losing drones like that. This should not be that difficult to pull units to defend, but 2 drones already? Doesn't sound like a lot, but you've also had to build 4 Zerglings against what was a single Reaper, no other pressure. And I do think this is a great start for Maru, whose 1-1 upgrades begin at 345. What the hell? Now, we've seen Maru do builds like this before. I can already envision a brutal 8 racks coming across the map. REYNOR does have his own link speed on the way now, which is great, but he's only on single gas, so I think if he gets another gas up and goes for an Evo chamber soon, he can go Carapace. Most importantly, getting this 4th base, because you can see he's already saturated on the minerals. And as that starts to oversaturate, yes, he can take gases and evolution chambers, but it's got to make do. Now, you might be thinking, look at the worker advantage. Isn't it good for REYNOR? It's not really, guys, because remember, he's got to kill workers to build buildings. Every gas that goes down is a dead drone. Every Evo chamber, Bane Nest, Macro Hatchery, those are all dead drones. And these Marines are moving out, forcing him to build Zerglings. This is not an attack with intention. Maru right now is doing what I would refer to as a flaccid poke, man. He's essentially unzipping his pants, waving around the most unimpressive piece of Marine meat you've ever seen. And REYNOR has to kind of respect it, because he doesn't want to lose Overlords, doesn't want to lose his 4th hatchery. But honestly, these 3 Queens alone could have defended this. Probably did not need to build 20 Zerglings. Then again, if he can surround the Marines and clean them up, that will be pretty nice for him. Link speed's almost ready, not quite. An extra creep tumor here would have been good. I'm going to try and save... I mean, he should easily save the hatchery, REYNOR. But he's built 10 more Zerglings. I think he's overreacted, guys. And Maru, he's going to go, if I were him, I'd probably hide my Marines in this corner and just hope REYNOR doesn't find them, because I know there's no way home. I think he's banking on link speed being even later. It, of course, is not. The Marines will go down very efficiently, but the damage has already been done in that he's forced REYNOR, to mass Zerglings. And I think Maru now with the starport, 4th and 5th barracks. Armory's coming in slightly late. You can see 1-1's going to finish in about 5 seconds, and his armory's still about 20 seconds from finished at that point. 1-1 on the way for REYNOR. Don't get me wrong, REYNOR could easily bounce back from this, but I do think a 5th base is in order for him. The question is, does he break these rocks? Or does he expand to the bottom right side? Infestation pit. Immediately, he's trying to skip Banelings. Okay, so REYNOR's going to try to skip Banes. Against this style, drops can be absolutely deadly because, you know, if your infestors aren't there and those Marines get into a corner, wedge themselves in there with combat shields, stims, and medevacs. It's very difficult. Maru sleeping at the helm, though. What's going on, guys? He's not checking his rocks. He has no idea that this is getting broken down right now. That's a big problem. 5th base will go up in the far bottom right side. We've got another gas here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 gases for REYNOR. REYNOR is massing a massive amount of Zerglings right now. I think he's kind of preparing for this 2.5 base timing, which it does feel like Maru's doing. He's building 3 more barracks. Maru building a reactor on the factory. His 2-2 has started, so he's got that upgrade advantage. The rocks are down. 4th command center does start. Medevacs will finally remove this Overlord. Overlord actually escapes. Gonna have to pick up and drop down there. Hive has started, as has a Baneling nest. So you can see, yeah, he'll eventually get to Banelings, but it's very late in the game. Only 68 workers for REYNOR, though. He's kind of like looking for the engage. There is enough space in the medevacs for most of these Marines. This is an odd game because REYNOR really has a big amount of Zerglings, as he has to. And he's still got a good income on only 68 workers because obviously he doesn't need much gas. It's mostly minerals. Maru's 4th is not that fast, but his upgrades are ahead. There we go. +2 carapace and Baneling speed, both going down for REYNOR very quickly. That's it. That's a very good move for him. He's got to try to buy some time for himself. He sees these Marines. Maru's not really committing to a push right now. REYNOR's creep spread's not bad. I wouldn't say it's exceptional, but it's not bad. 9 drones are coming down as well. Dude, this is one of those games where it's quite tense because you've both had very greedy starts, and now it's really scary to hold down the worker key and tech up from here. But, oh, okay, REYNOR losing a few lings there. He's going to try and counterattack the wall off, maybe, would actually be a decent call. Maru's trying to catch the lings in the corner. Wow, it's very rare that you try to actually completely catch Zerglings. Okay, we've got 5 more drones on the way. He's just built 9. We've got gases coming up as well. So an extra gas in the main. He's going to take another gas on the 3rd. These lings will escape. Thinking about surrounding these units, maybe. The ling's still staying very active. A few Marines get caught on the front as well. He's going to try to run in. REYNOR's reaction speed's been excellent, but oh, look at this Widow Mine. That's a tricky Widow Mine. Gets 13 Zerglings. Nice. About 300 minerals worth of Zerglings do go down. 2 Vipers are on the way, but no Ultra Cavern, guys. It's just Lingbane Viper and Adrenal Glands, which means Widow Mines will be a menace. He's just added lots of Banelings at Hive Tech, which is kind of bizarre. Widow Mines are getting picked off there by REYNOR's spreads on the Zerglings. He's going to try to jump on the front with the Marauders up front. I don't know if he could deal with this. It's a double upgrade advantage. Maru's forcing the fight at the perfect moment here. The Lings and Banes getting smashed by those Widow Mines. The Ling rally does get some damage on the rally of the Terran, I should say, but not enough to completely clean it up. Baneling's getting some pretty good hits on the Marines. Is it enough, though? There's still some Marines and Marauders left over. And you can see just forcing the fight with the double upgrade advantage. The big spread of Widow Mines, really well done by Maru. Does pick up and save these units as well, which I think was the perfect time to kind of gather, let his units heal, and begin that Widow Mine spready all over again. Now, REYNOR, he's on the ropes. I think he needs more Zergling run-bys here, but with the Planetary up on that base, hard to do. The Vipers aren't going to achieve too much either. Obviously, you can abduct a Widow Mine or 2 out of the ground, but not exactly the same as abducting a Siege Tank or a Thor or blinding clouding a position. Probably going to look for Parasitic Bombs on the Medevacs. The Banelings deep on creep do force that pickup, and I do think Parasitic Bombs would be really nice. He's hunting for it, but the Viper not quite able to get it. Finally, that does go down. There we go. Parasitic Bomb does land, gets a little bit of splash damage, but of course, Maru pretty prompt with that spread off. Now, it's pure Lingbane Viper here. This is such a REYNOR composition. I would never advise this to normal people, guys. I would say go Ultras, go for Ultras. He's now building an Ultra Cavern. But he's going to try and do this with Ling Bane. It's going to require exceptional control. 4 bases pumping out 8 racks bio. The Marauder count is heavy. 3/3 is halfway done. +3 melee starting for REYNOR, but no +3 carapace. Arguably, well, not even arguably, it just is the more important upgrade. The Ling Bane gets a good angle on both sides, though REYNOR's doing a great job of surviving right now, but he's only got 1 Overseer on the right side, no Overseers on the left, and Maru's pickup drop micro is really good. Can Maru maintain this pace, though? Remember, Maru has a debilitating shoulder injury. It's we never really quite know what his condition is. He's very secretive about it. I don't think he wants his opponents to know either. But we do know that the longer you end up in a brawl, REYNOR can dance all day. Can Maru keep up this pace? He's got the advantages right now, but it's not game over just yet. He's going to have to work for this to finish this off. REYNOR trickling through the Banes, getting a few onto the Marines, but doesn't have many Banes left. He's going to go for a big engage now. This is REYNOR's entire army. The Widow Mines do a bit of friendly fire there. Nothing huge. Big Parasitic Bomb on the medevac as well. Great clearance so far for REYNOR, but of course, remember, there's an endless rally from Terran. Whilst the Ling Bane count has been taking big damage. +3 carapace has started, so REYNOR is going to close the upgrade. Like, it's upgrade even, and of course, now it's an upgrade advantage for Terran as +3 kicks in. It's going to be about 2 minutes of upgrade advantage before Zer catches up. But he's got Ultras and Chitinous Plating coming in as well. REYNOR is, of course, down in supply, and as a 5th base is taken for Maru, he maintains the pressure, and he kind of says, I'm happy with this situation. I'm happy to keep pressing in. I feel like these are good trades. Marauders and Widow Mines are excellent units, and indeed they are, because the Lings naturally have to clump around the Marauders to focus them down. That allows the Widow Mines to get big centralized shots on top of those units. You can tell REYNOR, he's up against the wall. He has an Ultra coming down with no Chitinous Plating, and of course down an armor upgrade against the +3 attack of the Terran. The Ultra goes down so quickly. Parasitic Bomb got split away to the front very early on. Queens are coming forward. The Ultra is such a juicy target for those Marauders to focus on, and you can see he's going to do it. Good pullback on that, but of course the medevacs, they may be out of juice, but there's so many of them. The bio is so heavily wounded. Maru is on the cusp of overcommitting right now. The Viper does not quite have energy for another Parasitic Bomb, and that hatchery does fall. Maru, he pressed really hard here, but it was the perfect decision. Like, his whole army was deep in the red and orange, but he gets the hatchery, barely manages to push through, and starts forcing REYNOR to engage before he's ready. Those Ultras just got minced by those Marauders, and that is going to be a really nice series of plays for Maru. Gets the upgrade advantage, maintains it all game long. And what really could REYNOR have done against this is my big question. I think this map is one I was surprised to see REYNOR leave in the pool, because it does allow Terran to macro up so cleanly, so well. And I was wondering if there'd be something like a fast muta build or some sort of all-in, because these maps, and I always talk about this, they polarize a player's strategies. What that means is you are on the extreme end. You're either extremely greedy or extremely aggressive. And in the old days, we saw a lot more all-ins to take advantage of these sorts of maps. Rogue, if you guys think back to these sort of maps that have pocket bases in 2017, Nidus Worms were popping up every single game. It was always a Bane bust. There was always a big flood of Lings. There was always something cheesy coming out of Rogue, because he knew his opponent was being greedy. So far, on this meta, on this patch, I've noticed players are tending towards a more conservative and defensive playstyle, and part of me wonders, do I just have a longer memory than other players? Is it because I've been watching rather than playing for so many years? We haven't had a lot of pocket bases for a long time. If you cast your mind back 8 years, you would remember one of the best strategies, or many of the best strategies, are big all-ins. Was there really a big window to take down Maru here? I think if he didn't move these Marines out, maybe not. But anytime before Stim finishes, it is just unupgraded Marines defending, which aren't the most mobile unit. They can get jumped on by quite a few things. Then again, I'm not really sure what I would suggest for REYNOR. I do think Ultras earlier would have been nice. Part of me wonders if Infestors rather than Vipers is also the play. That's always something I wonder. I think with no siege tanks on the map, I always feel that yes, Parasitic Bomb will eventually wear down those medevacs, and maybe that's why you have it, so if he starts dropping, you can Parasitic Bomb them. But for me, Fungal feels like it's a little more deadly. Honestly, though, whenever you have these maps where your opponent just gets to wall off one side and push through their third, one of the other things you look for is a counter-attack on the natural. And remember, REYNOR worked really hard to delay here, but he never actually was able to open up this avenue. So I think there's an argument that if he was able to blow this up with 5 Banes and get Lings in here, maybe that could have made it a little bit harder for Maru to defend, whereas here he was able to just F2 rally across the map. And the fact that he was able to rally across the map and reactively just pull units to defend, whenever the Lings run in. It's kind of shocking how well he was able to reinforce this push. So I think there's a few little details there. I'm sure REYNOR will go back to the drawing board. Either way, I'm pretty sure this was MARU'S map pick as a guy who is going to be good on the turtley maps. Really nice game one for MARU. Very clean. All right, guys. REYNOR with a pretty nice game one, honestly. I'm always impressed with his ability to hang on with those very low-tier compositions. Just very good micro against the Widow Mines. But MARU had him where he wanted him. Now we're going on to Tokamak, a bigger, I would say more standard map, and a map where I'd love to see REYNOR try and run away in the mid-game. I think we know that MARU has a very big strength in StarCraft 2, especially in this matchup. His early game is exceptional, lots of cheeky build orders, and his late game is exceptional. Mid-game, normally not particularly good. In a balanced game. But if he's committing to an optimized big 8 racks all in like that in the mid game like he did in the last game, that he did really well, right? And it wasn't even an all in. He was like taking a 4th, then taking a 5th behind it, but it was like very committed, right? Like he wasn't really transitioning at all. He was just leaning on REYNOR and slowly choking him out. And that's stuff that MARU does really well. And it's off the back of course, that exceptional greed in the early game and these really streamlined, well planned out build orders. Now, REYNOR, of course, is known for having the best creep spread in the world. Sorry, Scarlet, step aside. The year he won his world championship, right? He revolutionized Zerg versus Terran. I'd actually love to see REYNOR go creep trimmer first on the natural, because I do think getting that creep out nice and far puts a sort of pressure on the Terran player all of its own. And we'll see if REYNOR goes back to that older style. For now, 16 on minerals. You can see they're all perfectly doubled up. He's going to rally 3 to gas. He should build one more drone here. Of course, he's now rallying to his natural since the main is fully saturated. MARU goes command center after building the barracks, but he also sends an SCV across the map. MARU knows REYNOR likes to go pull first, likes to mix in some really cheeky builds and all-ins. So this is just to check, is your hatchery on location? Which he's going to see. And then you can also block their third. If you think, ooh, the Zergs prefer this third base because it's way better, I'm going to block that, make him take the other third. Now, he's going to try and do it reactively. He sees the drone, and he does move, but of course, drone just go in each direction. And I think REYNOR is very happy to just, he doesn't care. Triangle base, other base, doesn't matter. This base, a bit more exposed, but you know, you can get your creep further forward off of it early. Doesn't care. Does not care. And he takes it early to make sure it can't get blocked. He then builds an Overlord and 2 more drones after that third hatchery goes down. And build the Spore! Oh my god, why are you so risky? That's what I'm talking about, man. Unnecessary risk with that drone, right? There's no reason why he couldn't have pulled that a little bit earlier. I do like that, though, the creep tumor first. This is what I was talking about. Big map, lots of room to spread creep. And if he can get creep past a certain point, Terran just can't stop it. MARU's going to build the third command center to begin his wall off here. Yeah, I love this. This does lose an inject on the natural, but remember, how many minerals do you have anyway? So look, he's got 2 lava. He's only got slightly more minerals than what he can spend on that. So I think this is totally fine. He's also going to build a creep tumor in the main and then bring that queen to the front. And yeah, I think this is very solid play here. Oh, but he loses a creep tumor. That's actually really sloppy. Where the heck were his overlords? Why has he only got one on the left and didn't have one on the right, guys? Is that? Oh, it's just because with this build, he builds the third hatchery so early that his third overlord's super delayed, isn't it? Okay, so he does lose a creep tumor. Not really sloppy, never mind. I guess he did have an overlord on the left, so he should have been guarding the right side a lot more, knowing that's the only angle where the Reaper could surprise him, but it's not the end of the world. He's already pretty far out with this creep, and he's going to go for another tumor right up there on the third immediately to start spreading north. Beautiful creep spread for REYNOR. As MARU goes for a battle mech. Oh, guys, that's so funny. In between the games, I took a break on my stream. Someone asked, hey, how do you stop battle mech? What's the easiest way for a noob to beat it? And I said, 66 drone roach timing. If they build a lot of Banshees, you can add a few Hydras. You don't even need any upgrades on the Hydras, or maybe just a movement speed, but just enough Hydras and an Overseer to deal with the Banshees. But basically the idea is they play, you know, Cyclone, Alien, and they're running around. If you can just mass roaches, you can go get them. And this is, I think, a good example of that. If you guys go look up the video of REYNOR versus Gumiho from GSL was it early this year? I think it was early this year. Might have been last year. No, I think it was this year. It's just like 6 months ago or whatever. So basically, REYNOR was way ahead on Persephone, and yeah, he didn't attack. He got afraid of attacking. He had like a maxed out army against 120 supply, and he was like, oh, he knows it's coming. He's got cyclones picking at me. He's probably got tons of tanks at home. He didn't. He could have just rolled over him. But he tried to macro up, and all those roaches he'd built, which REYNOR was maxed on, ended up being very bad units long term. And in the next minute or two, Gumiho's supply blossomed. Tons of tanks, tons of high-tier mech units. The roach army got worse every second that went by, while the mech army got better. And that's why timings are very important against these mech players. Now, you know what else is important is scouting. Something REYNOR is famous for not really doing that much of. The Zergling gets stopped by those 2 Marines, which means he doesn't see the Hellions. And here comes the mass blue flame move out. He has no idea. He does have a Baneling nest, and he needs to make Banelings right now. The Overlord's not going to see it. The Overlord's not going to see it! Maru dodges the pillar on purpose. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. The Hellions are going left. He still doesn't see it. He still doesn't see it. Okay, now he sees it. REYNOR needs to make Banes right now. He has not made any Banes. The drones are trying to run. He's going to try and surround these units. He needs to build an Evo chamber there. He's going to try and leave some drones on the outside because he's like, look, let these drones die as long as I don't let him inside my base. Builds a Roach War in there. And you know what? That was a pretty clutch defense so far. Oh, but the Hellions do slide through. Great Evo chamber. He needs another one. He needs another one. Great Evo chambers. The drones cowering. Needs to cancel the Evo on the right side. Needs to cancel that Evo. The drones try to run away. He's going to lose a lot of workers here. He's building 7 more already, REYNOR. And he does end up defending. Still a good trade for Maru, who manages to kill 11 drones, 22 Zerglings for 9 Hellions. But that would have been a lot worse. A lesser Zerg would have taken far more damage. Cancels his Roach War and builds a new one out here. REYNOR loves to play Ravager Ling Bane against mech, guys. And that's what he's probably going to go for. Little does he realize this is not mech. This is just Blue Flame Hellions into 2 factory bio. Double eBay upgrades are on the way. Oh, wait, he scouted it. He did scout it. Sorry, he must have made an Overseer. He must have made an Overseer. I don't know when he got in. He scouted a bunch of barracks coming down, though. So he does see all these barracks building. Maybe an Overlord flew through. Whew. Okay, this is crazy, dude. Infestation Pit, +1 melee, +1 range coming in. These are the anti-mech upgrades. Yeah. So REYNOR hasn't looked at his scout, guys. He doesn't realize that he saw extra barracks building. So even though he saw it, he doesn't realize he saw it. Because he thinks he's playing against mech. He's going to go Hive for Vipers, Adrenal for Blinding Clouds, and he's going to play like Ravager Ling Bane plus Viper with Blinding Cloud. But he needs Carapace. It's way more important than this range upgrade. And this is a really big problem because, like I said, once REYNOR thinks he knows what's happening in the game, he very rarely follow-up scouts. He doesn't really make Overseers and go through regularly. If he ran in some Zerglings, he might see all these Marines, these Widowmines, and realize what's happening. Now, to be fair, triple Widowmine production into Roach Ravager is not good. It's better against Ling Bane, which, yeah, REYNOR's playing a mix of both units, but the Roach Ravager will be good against those units. Hive is, of course, almost halfway done. 2-2 has already started for Terran. The problem, guys, is +2 attack started, +1 Carapace has not started. Neuroparasites coming in. REYNOR still thinks he's playing against mech. He has no idea what's going on in this game. REYNOR has savagely misread what's happening. Despite that, I think his army is not terrible. He's got 2 Infestors, lots of Ling Bane building, but it's the upgrades that are going to make this really hard to fight in the way he's used to. First warning of what's going on as the Marine Widowmine encroaches on the creep on the right side. Fungal would be lovely. He's hit the Infestors so well. Fungal does land. Very nice Fungal. The Widowmines do get some decent shots, but quite a few Marines go down, and that was actually a really good hold there for Mr. REYNOR. Loses very few units. Still has both Infestors alive, but he does need to start that Carapace. Blue Flame Hellion tries to come in. Roachling is more than ready for it. Carapace, mate. Carapace. +1 starts at 8.5 minutes when +2 weapons is already halfway done for Terran. 3 more tech labs come down. That's going to be the Marauder production added to Maru's setup as his 4th base floats out to the left. Now, REYNOR's done a great job. Remember that early frantic hold. He didn't lose nearly as many drones as I thought he should. But, of course, that was REYNOR's clutch reactions. He's so good at those sort of just off-the-cuff defenses and finding a way to survive. So, he's now still up 24 suppliers, REYNOR. 17 of that being workers, which is very good for him. The Roaches might not be the best unit in the world, but they're decent. Push on the front, distracting, while the Widowmine drop comes in from behind. Let's see if REYNOR reacts. Yeah, he's going to react pretty quickly. Fungal could be nice here, but 3 drones and a whole bunch of Zerglings do go down. Army on the front still rotating. Maru very Widowmine focused today. Let me drop another one on that right side. REYNOR very occupied on the front. Can't look everywhere at once. These Widowmines are distracting him. Needs an Overseer to clean all these bad boys up. Look at this, man. Keeping REYNOR really busy as Maru. When he adds 2 command centers, he's going to go Ghosts. If he gets to late game Ghost Turtle, Maru should have Reynor in a bad spot. Then again, his 5th base will be a bit more exposed as he moves out to these 2 expansions in the top left. I'm going to call it now, guys. If Maru takes this base on the right, he loses this game because he's going to be too spread out. But if he takes this base and this base on the left, I think Reynor's in for a world of hurt. I think Maru sometimes has a bad habit of just spreading his bases randomly because he feels like he's dominating his opponent and can get away with anything. But if he actually goes for a really tight base layout, that's where Reynor feels helpless and frustrated because he doesn't feel like there's much he can do. A couple of drones going down, but this is costing Medivacs, it's costing Widow Mines. These aren't efficient moves, cost for cost. They're just keeping Reynor busy, so they're kind of extending the game, dragging it out a little bit. +3 weapons is on the way. He's got +1 vehicle plating, no vehicle weapons or ship weapons just yet. Spy is already on the way for Reynor, which I do absolutely love. Broodlings can set off Widow Mines and make tanks friendly fire their own units. So Broodlords are actually really good. They're much better than they used to be. A higher energy Infestor on the front line, which is not great there. Widow Mines fire. The Ultras with the transfusers don't really care about that too much. Marauders up front being a bit of a nuisance. Nice transfusers, though. Do clean up. He still hasn't cleaned these Widow Mines. I think Reynor really should have a squad out on that left side of the map, clearing Widow Mines and trying to get a bit of map control back. As it is, he's kind of stuck in a one-directional fight here and really feels like Maru's kind of funneling him into a bad angle. The Ultra's taking massive damage. 3-2 upgrades are on the way for Reynor. He's got only +1 carapace here, man. These Ultras, they take so much damage from those Marauders. The Lings are going to run forward, setting off a few of those Widow Mines. But, dude, this is really tough. Maru has him in a bad spot. Roaches run in from behind. They will take out 1 tank for about 13 Roaches. Reynor's supply takes a massive dive. He abandons this base, which is the correct call. But he only does it after losing about 5,000-6,000 resources of units. So what did he really gain by fighting that? He threw away his Roaches. He loses a hatchery. Reynor's decision to stand and fight that was not good. And because he still hasn't cleaned up these Widow Mines in the middle, they're still here. Not to mention the Widow Mine on the left. I think Maru has basically thrown Reynor off and put him on tilt with those Widow Mine drops. I think Reynor, at like every moment when he was about to get his feet underneath him and kind of calmly focus on the correct things, the Widow Mine drops came in, really distracted him because that forces a lot of attention out of you as a Zerg player. And now he's losing his queens. Maru shoving in right now. Big Ling counterattack going to be potentially the saving grace for Reynor. He's on that 3rd mineral line. Ultra Infestor tries to run forward. There's Libs there, man. He doesn't have Antia. He needs Corruptors right now, but he's out of gas. Lings do clear the 3rd base. 10 SCVs going down. Some depots could fall as well. Maru, is he maxed or something? He's got to send all of his units home. And that's a bit of an awkward split. He sends like 50 Marines home to clean this up. Meanwhile, Marauder's taking a lot of damage on the front. He's still trying to press the front, but there's no support for this army anymore. So now the Ultras and the Queens should be able to push through. Great fungal on some of those Medivacs, stopping them from picking up. The Queens still get wrecked, though, by the Libs. He loses all of his Queens. Finally cleans this up, but look at that. There's still 2 tanks behind it. Oh, man, this is a really rough game for Reynor. Finally, the Spore Crawler moves forward. We'll get rid of both of these Libs. Thankfully, Maru, not paying attention, does lose them. Maru's 5th base is up, by the way, guys. This Widow Mine, how is this still here? I don't know. Not to mention the Widow Mine on the left, which killed the drone that tried to move out of that. Reynor's going to try and take this base. He tries to take this hatchery again, but in the midst of everything, he doesn't know that there's a Widow Mine there. He does have 1 Burrowed Infestor behind, though. If he could catch this army, he's got Corruptor Ultra Baneling now, my favorite composition, guys, especially when supported by Infestors. And if he can get a fungal on this and just clean up all these Marines, the supply swing will be massive. All right, we get a double drop moving out to the left. Only a few Zerglings there for Reynor. His right side hatchery is an easy snipe if it gets clicked on, but the Corruptors are there. The Corruptors, of course, are always fearsome. Another Widow Mine drop comes in from behind. Oh, he's been such a nuisance, hasn't he? I truly feel that Reynor is very frustrated by these Widow Mine drops just because he just let an army escape on the right side, right? He could have chased that down with the Corruptors. He just lets 50 Marines walk away. And that's a blunder for Reynor, I gotta say. I do think now that Maru's entering the Ghost stage, he's got 2 more commands in his building as well. You know what? Okay, one thing we gotta point out, this is not old school Maru. Remember 2022, Maru would just build 10 command centers? He's not trying to play that style. He's only at 4 orbitals. He doesn't have the Iron Bank. He's not actually turtling. He's trying to do Clem style, attacking with Ghost Biomine. Don't get me wrong, this is the best way to play Terran if you're a robot with unlimited APM. Maru has a shoulder injury. Maru is nowhere near as fast as Clem, or as consistent in protracted micro situations. Oh, he does. The Infestor waddles into the scan. There's 1 more behind, though. There is 1 more Infestor behind that he's got to watch out for. Some Banelings do roll in. It's like, oh my god. Dude, this is a sick push. Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight into that. There's no way that Infestor can unburrow, can it? He's going to go for it. He's going to go for the Ghost. He does land a fungal on the Ghosts. Baneling's connecting. Oh, takes out a bunch of the Ghosts. 2 of them do survive. The Ultras come through. The Corruptors, of course, can come through behind to clean up the libs. He does lose his hatchery, does REYNOR. But it feels like... Oh, I mean, it feels like that's the first fight that had some success. Oh, another fungal landed. Okay, these burrowed infestors popping up from behind, man. Corruptors are going to fly over turrets here. Where is the rest of the army for Maru? Looks like his supply is dangerously low right now, trying to rebuild Ghosts, Marines, and the like. But actually, he's just got no units right now. Where was his production in the middle of that? Felt like he should have had some more units out by now. Widowmines and Ghosts trying to defend. He's going to get a few snipes on the Ultra. Remember, snipes don't do as much damage as they used to, guys. So as much as we complain about the Ghost beating just about everything, it does do, I think it's 130 damage as opposed to the old 170. That 40 damage difference when you're hitting a 500 hit point Omega tank like the Ultralisk actually makes a very big difference. 1 more snipe in total to take it down. 4 rather than 3 snipes. Oh, the Widowmine finally getting cleaned up here. This is something REYNOR needs to really be on point with against this style, is you have to have an offlane squad of units with Overseers just constantly cleaning up map control. Otherwise, the Terran gets to, like, kind of put you in the corner, put you in the naughty corner and make you make mistakes. Finally, this base starts mining in the top left, guys. He needs to defend this, though. If REYNOR loses that base, he doesn't have this base up. I guess it's coming up now, but, like, it's really scary for him. There's a lib coming in the right side as well. He does have a Spore Crawler over there. Maru leaving his third wide open right now. REYNOR is happy to take care of that. Got Adrenal. He's got 3-3 now. His +3 carapace is kicking in at this moment. Watch out, REYNOR. Left side, he's going to get sniped if he's not careful. Sitting in view. Still 2 Zerglings on that base. Maru's going to clean up. Now, Maru, I think, is correct to focus on the top left side. Problem is, usually, he's not in a super turtley situation just yet. Okay, he does pull back on that side. Needs a few snipes. Does get a few snipes on that Ultra. Not quite popping it, though. So, I think the ideal situation where REYNOR is just looking dead in the water is if you've got a planetary here and, like, 2 libs and you got, like, an actual wall off. And then you can focus mostly on this left side as Maru. Maru doesn't have that. His rally point is wide open and he's rallying across the map. As I said, Maru's playing a pushing style, guys. His Ghosts are cloaked. Whoa! His Ghosts are cloaked! That's a huge mistake! What is this engagement? Oh my god, Maru! Maru just crapped the bed! That was an awful engagement! Don't get me wrong, he still holds the position. It might be good enough to just win this series. But oh my gosh, that was a sloppy engagement. I don't know why he cloaked the Ghosts. It meant he didn't have enough snipes for the Ultras there. Thankfully, he has enough Marauders. It might be able to push through anyway. This is a crazy push for Maru. Maru is not playing the turtle style, even though we know REYNOR has no answer to it. He's pushing and he's winning anyway. And that's a way of asserting dominance. Normally, REYNOR gets frustrated because he knows Maru's just going to turtle to late game and beat him there. This time, yes, Maru's kind of in the late game, but he's also pushing with it. He's playing a lot more like Clem. The beginning of that fight was really ugly for Maru, but I think REYNOR just didn't have the numbers to carry it through. Units lost time still 9,000 in favor of Maru. And the fact that he's got no set defenses except 2 Widowmines on this right side base, and he's still dictating the aggression. Wow. This is insane. Corruptorlings trying to come forward. That base gets sniped. REYNOR looking like he's about to get overwhelmed here. Infestors go down. Ultras go down. Corruptors as well. And that is looking like it's going to be lights out here. Maru looking to get the 2-0 victory. Hot diddly damn, man. I really thought this was a 3-game best of 3. I really did. Shout out to the RSL guys for putting fake replays in the folders, I guess. Unless this really is a comeback from here. Okay, yeah, REYNOR has to tap. Damn, dude, Maru, that last fight was so crazy. That push. This is like one of those things is sometimes people forget, noobs like me, that sometimes taking a bad fight is good because you know that you can just win the game because you just have the numbers. Now, it was kind of weird that his Ghosts were cloaked because, yes, there was plenty of Overseers and stuff. I'm not sure if that was a button misclick or not because I felt like a lot of his Ghosts from cloaking dipped below 50 energy where they couldn't snipe, which is not what you want, right? If you're very high on energy, sometimes it can be good to have that, but he just kind of scans and he's like, you know what? I can shove into Ultra Banelings. Maybe he just sensed there wasn't enough Banelings and there's no spellcasters and there's no flanks, so these units are kind of getting stuck behind each other. You see, cloaks. He lands a first volley of snipes. But, I mean, these Marines just have Banelings connecting right on them as well as Ultras. But it turns out the Widowmines, the snipes, the Marauders, he just has enough units. That's like, who makes that call? to shove on creep and just stand their ground. Maru does. Maru knew he had the numbers, and he knew that if he pushed through there, he could get on the rallies and take out 2 more bases. That's actually epic. Really nice win for Maru. Really impressed with his play. Part of me wishes he did just turtle us out to like 7 command centers, to 7 orbitals. He's only got 5. This is not the super late game turtle boring style, which it's kind of cool to see that Maru, the guy who normally we think can't keep up in the high pace game because of his shoulder injury, he's like, no, I can do that. I'm not going to sit there and make mass orbital and build a planetary wall off and have libs and mines everywhere and just give absolutely no avenue for the Zerg to make plays. This was actually 18 minutes of non-stop action. GG, well played. Maru cleans up with the 2-0.